The archipelago of Svalbard lies about 650 kilometres off the Norwegian mainland in a geopolitical hotspot in the high Arctic. An international treaty gives Svalbard an unusual legal structure that bans most military activity, but in recent years that hasn't stopped countries, particularly Russia and Norway, from pursuing strategic aims. Now China may enter the mix. That's because in early May, a private owner put a 60 square kilometre stretch of land on the market for $326 million. And a lawyer in charge of the sale, Per Killingstad, says there is a concrete interest from Chinese buyers. Analysts say Norway would not support the sale to a Chinese buyer. Norway has said the sale requires its approval. Killingstad denies that.
This is not correct. 100% not correct. Got a legal opinion prior to some time ago, also from one of the largest law firms in Oslo on this, and it's absolutely clear.
The Norwegian Minister of Trade, Industry and Fisheries told VOA in a statement via email, "We do not agree with the lawyer responsible for the sale. There is also no permission to initiate negotiations regarding the transfer of the property without the consent from the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Fisheries." Killingstad says he is pushing ahead with the auction. One analyst told VOA why the Norwegian government might be looking to intervene in the sale.
Obviously, the Arctic itself is getting a lot more international attention because of security concerns. There is a lot of worry that the Arctic is going to see quite a bit of spillover between the obviously worsened relations between the West and Russia. So the timing for this is rather distinct.
Analysts say China is interested in the Arctic to gain access to untapped natural resources, advantageous military positioning, and newly established shipping routes created by sea ice melt.
China has taken very great pains to stress that it has no military aims in the Arctic, and its military presence, China's military presence in the Arctic, has been very light. The only time that China has been involved militarily in the Arctic has been in cooperation with Russia.
Some experts have pointed out that the land being sold on Svalbard is designated as a national park. Driving a snowmobile across it would likely be illegal, so any uses of the land for a potential buyer beyond research would be problematic. But Killingstad says buyers are focused on the long-term benefits of owning the land.
They are looking at this in a long-term horizon to get a foothold in the Arctic, and are not necessarily looking into what they can do up there during the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, maybe 30 years, 50 years, maybe 100 years, because this is the only opportunity you would have to acquire land in the so-called high Arctic.
Killingstad said the seller, which local media say is a company owned by a Russian-born Norwegian, was not concerned about selling to countries like China, which have poor human rights records. He pointed out that philanthropists might just as easily buy the land. But ultimately, Killingstad said the land will be sold to the highest bidder. Henry Wilkins, VOA News.